Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Trevino. A day of grim milestones in the pandemic. More than 500,000 people worldwide have died from the virus, and in Texas alone, there were more than 5,300 cases reported today. Marcelina Benito shows us local cases are playing a big role in that rising tally.
For the sixth day in a row, Texas reporting more than 5,000 new cases of COVID-19. Houston now a national hotspot.
And we're having to move very quickly to try to get on top of it to blunt the progression of this virus, to slow it down.
The positivity rate now 14% in Texas, a record high, 11% in the Houston area. Harris County remains in red alert. Judge Lina Hidalgo encouraging residents to stay home. But local leaders have no real way of enforcing it, their hands tied by Governor Abbott.
I call it Operation Cake and Eat It. They want to open the economy, yet save lives. And who wouldn't want to do those two things, right? The question is whether the way they're doing it will achieve those goals. And so far, I've not seen any evidence to indicate that that's a viable strategy.
Dr. Peter Hotez says shutting down bars and encouraging masks will not be adequate to stop the spread. Any potential impact would not be seen for weeks. That's also when deaths could increase.
It's very difficult now to put the genie back in the bottle when the genie is already out the bottle.
There's no magic solutions that are coming down the pipe.
But we do know what works because it worked in Houston in April.
What worked for us the first time are the same things that are required this time.
Houston was a model for the nation until the state reopened in May.
We opened up the state too early, and we didn't put in enough belts and suspenders to do it properly.
And with cases surging, last Friday, the Texas Medical Center abruptly stopped sharing hospital capacity data online with the public. We learned today Mayor Turner hasn't been provided that data either for days.
Right now, especially when the numbers are surging in the wrong direction, information is very important. And we need to be transparent as much as possible. People need to know.
Now, Mayor Turner tells us he did speak to Texas Medical Center officials who confirmed that they would be posting that data again for the public to see, that it would be up as early as tomorrow morning. Now, we did check before airtime tonight, and we can confirm that data is back up for the public to see, although it is being presented in a slightly different format. Ron, back to you.
Thank you so much, Marcelino Benito. Then there's this. Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo announcing on Twitter that she is self-quarantining. She says she was exposed last week to someone who tested positive for the coronavirus. She's not showing any symptoms and plans to continue her duties virtually. Long lines today for testing at the Mexican consulate. The consulate has offered free testing before, but the response has never been this big. Here's our Jason Miles.
Demand for COVID-19 testing outside the consulate of Mexico was evident early, and the lines even impacted traffic along the freeway.
We are very happy to have this response of the people.
People were asked to bring IDs and medical insurance information if they had it, but there were no questions regarding nationality or immigration status.
We are concerned about the COVID situation, and we are more concerned to know that many members of the Hispanic community doesn't want to go to a health institution because they are afraid that their information is going to be shared with other authorities.
Testing here was done by United Memorial Medical Center, which first partnered with local and federal authorities back in March.
We have tested over 83,000 people. Our positivity rate is around 13%, but that's not the concerning part. The concerning part that of those that are positive, 47% are asymptomatic. That means I don't know who of you, gentlemen and ladies, are positive.
Officials continue to stress the importance of widespread testing in order to better gauge community spread, although they realize increased demand is beginning to overwhelm many testing sites, like this site where scheduled test slots maxed out by mid-morning last Friday.
The lines are long. People recognize the importance of testing. It is better to know than not to know, because once you know, then we can contact, trace, isolate, quarantine, and treat.
And hopefully get a handle on a continually surging situation. In Houston, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Free COVID-19 testing is being offered at several sites throughout the Houston area this week. Head to khou.com to find one near you. And Freeport issuing a mask order today. It goes into effect after midnight on Tuesday and lasts through July 12th. The rules are basically the same ones as in Houston and Harris County. Businesses who don't comply could face a $1,000 fine. Vice President Mike Pence was in Texas today visiting a megachurch up in Dallas, wearing a mask in the crowd and speaking at the pulpit. He says, with the help of state leaders, we'll put the health of Texans first.
And every single day, we'll continue to reclaim our freedom and our way of life. As each day, we are one day closer to the day we put this pandemic in the past.
And after the service, Pence met with Governor Greg Abbott and promised more federal resources for testing. Stephanie Whitfield has more on the vice president's plea specifically to young people.
This week, Vice President Mike Pence is visiting coronavirus hotspots around the country, including Arizona and Florida. But the first stop was Texas.
About 2 weeks ago, something changed. We wanted to get a report from you directly about that.
Governor Greg Abbott says daily new cases of the virus and hospitalizations have more than doubled. The state's positivity rate has gone from a low of 4.3% to over 13%.
Well, we need to understand that COVID-19 has taken a very swift and very dangerous turn in Texas over just the past few weeks.
That's why bars in Texas are now closed again. Restaurant capacity is scaled back, and elective surgeries in hard-hit areas like Houston are suspended. The vice president says federal resources will be made available to expand testing.
We're going to make sure you have what you need when you need it, and we're going to get through this.
But another concern in Texas is the sharp rise in young people testing positive. More people in their 20s and 30s are being hospitalized too. The governor urged everyone to remember what slowed the spread of the virus before.
Wearing a face mask, sanitizing your hands, keeping a safe distance, and remembering this, and that is, if you don't need to get out, there's no reason to go out at this particular time.
Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.
Joe Biden is criticizing the Trump administration over Pence's visit to Dallas. His campaign releasing a statement saying, quote, Vice President Pence's trip to Dallas epitomizes the dismissive attitude this administration has taken in addressing this crisis from the onset. Our leaders should be tackling this pandemic head on and laying out concrete recovery plans for the American people, not jet-setting across the country to hold events that go against basic public health guidance. We know there's a lot of new information out there, so we have you covered on khou.com/coronavirus. You can also text the word FACTS to 713-526-1111 to get links sent right to your phone, including how to track cases in your area and where you can get a free test.